You're born sometime in the mid-20th century, exact date unknown. Even the wizarding world doesn't care enough to write it down. Your name is Argus Filch, and from day one, the universe has a message for you. It doesn't go well. See, most kids born into the wizarding world get a letter at 11. Hogwarts. Platform 9 3/4. Magic. You wait, and wait, and wait. The letter never comes. Because you're a squib. You can feel magic, it's everywhere around you. Humming in the walls, crackling in the air. You just can't use it. Imagine being born with perfect pitch and no hands. That's you. Forever. So while other kids are learning to levitate feathers, you're learning something else entirely. How to exist in a world that considers you a rounding error. Fast forward. You're an adult. You need a job. Options for a squib in the wizarding world? Not exactly endless. You can't teach, can't heal, can't work at the ministry. But Dumbledore, soft, impossible, infuriating Dumbledore, gives you a chance. Caretaker of Hogwarts, congratulations. You now live in a damp basement that smells like lamp oil and cat food, surrounded by 400 doors that need opening every single morning. This is your life now. Your alarm goes off at 5:30, not because you want to, because if you don't, nobody does. You reach for your boot. It tries to bite you. Not a metaphor. The background magic of the castle animated your left boot overnight, again. You wrestle it for 5 minutes, you lose, you wrap a rag around it and put it on anyway. You don't have another pair. Breakfast, iron mug, gas burner. Tea so strong a flobberworm died in it last month. You didn't fish it out right away. You were tired. Your fork turned into an earwig again. Happens every few days. So you eat stale bread with your hands, dipping it into a tin of paste with no label. But you've been eating it for a year. Still alive. Good enough. 7 a.m. You grab your key ring. 10 kilograms of cold metal you've worn on your hip for 30 years. One shoulder sits lower than the other now. You checked in the mirror. The mirror told you that you look like a man who gave up a long time ago. Today, something's wrong. The keys are scrambled. Cursed. The key to the east tower opens the basement. The key to the basement opens the third floor girls' bathroom. Where the bathroom key leads, you decide not to find out. You already know who did this. Red hair, identical faces, identical smirks. You go to Dumbledore. You climb the spiral staircase, you knock again, and again. He opens the door in a nightcap, looks at you with the warmth of a man who has never once had a bad day and says, "Lemon drop?" You don't want a lemon drop. He lifts the curse in 20 minutes while telling you a story about his brother and a goat. You don't listen. An hour gone, 400 doors waiting. You go. Open, check, close, open, check, close, 400 times. On door 37, the staircase decides to move, just because. Hogwarts is alive, and sometimes it's bored. You're hanging over a drop, holding a door handle, feet dangling in the air. Mrs. Norris sits on the landing and watches. She is emotional support, not physical. You pull yourself up. You keep going. 9 a.m. classes start, which means it starts. McGonagall's classroom. Yesterday, they transfigured turtles into snuff boxes. Half of them half reverted overnight. They're not turtles. They're not boxes. They crawl, they soil, they squeeze into ventilation shafts. You're on your knees in the dustiest corners, scooping up the droppings of creatures that don't exist in nature. McGonagall walks in, looks at you over her glasses. Filch, try to finish before the lesson. You look at her, she looks at you, you finish. 10:30, the Weasley twins. You smell it before you see it. Portable swamp, an entire corridor. You're standing ankle deep in it, boots squelching, and Fred, or George, you've never been able to tell, walks past with a face of pure innocence and says, "Argus, have you seen our pet toad? Think it left something in the mud? You remember Dumbledore banned the chains. You remember Dumbledore banned the cupboard. You remember Dumbledore banned quite a lot of things. You pick up the mop, 1 p.m., lunch. Your lunch. You lock yourself in the office and pull out a grease-stained envelope. Inside, a pamphlet. Quick spell for beginners, course 7. 7. You've completed 6. You pick up a stick, regular wood, confiscated from a second year who was hitting a ghost with it, and you try. Wingardium Leviosa. Nothing. Wingardium Leviosa. Nothing? Wingardium Leviosa. A mug falls off the shelf. From the vibration of your voice, Peeves through the keyhole. Argus, you in there trying to magic yourself some dignity again? You put the stick down, you eat the bread. Here's what you need to understand about being a squib. You're not a muggle. Muggles don't know what they're missing. You do. You feel magic the way a drowning man feels air. Close enough to understand, too far to reach. You watch first years wave wands on their first day and accidentally levitate 3 chairs and a cat. 11 years old. First try. You've been trying for 30 years. You stand next to them with a bucket. 4 p.m. Hagrid, good man. You know that. But behind him, from the front gate to the kitchen, stretches 30 meters of slime the width of a road. He turns around, sees you, and his whole face lights up. Filch, you're looking well. You mop the floor. Today the teachers went to Hogsmeade. Inspection trip, official business, they formed a circle, joined hands, crack, gone. Nobody told you, maybe they forgot, maybe they figured you'd manage. You put on your coat, the patched one. You walked 3 hours through snowdrifts. Mrs. Norris ran beside you, meowing in what can only be described as disappointment. You found them all at the 3 broomsticks, Dumbledore by the window. Peaceful, content. You sat in the corner, ordered water. Nobody apologized. 10 p.m. patrol. This is your time. Dark corridors, lantern. Mrs. Norris ahead like a living radar. You know every creak, every draft, every floorboard that gives away the students who think darkness makes them invisible. Footsteps around the corner. Harry Potter. Invisibility cloak caught on a statue, slipped halfway off. He stands there and looks at you with that expression. The one that says, oh, him. And something happens in your eyes. Not anger, not cruelty. Just the one moment in the day when Hogwarts belongs to you. You get back to the basement at midnight. Boot off. It bites. You dodge it. Habit now. Mrs. Norris settles on your feet. You stare at the ceiling. Tomorrow, 5:30. 400 doors. Swamp. Turtle boxes. The twins. The slime. The snow. The pamphlets in the drawer. Course 8 arrives in 2 weeks. You'll try again, because nobody remembers the man who kept the castle standing. History writes down the names of the ones who made the magic. Not the one who cleaned up after it, but you were there. Every single day. And the only reason Hogwarts didn't fall apart